Welcome everyone to Chirping Zebras episode 72. Mark Riley alongside Gino Bender Jr. as always. Coming to you live from CAGNEYS.
CAGNEYS.
In Quincy.
Yes.
Yeah.
The McNeils. Thank you very much.
Yes, and we have a great studio audience here for this one.
Yes, we do. Live studio audience.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, they're really here.
I was wondering. Before we get into anything, we want to thank our sponsor, the Referee's Crease.
Yes.
One-stop shop for all your referee needs. Also, thank your dad, Big Gene.
Yep, I'm still at scholarship. Thank you very much.
And so am I. And we also want to thank AOA Studios, Mike, for coming down and doing his thing.
The best.
They do a great job with everything we do.
Everything.
Which has been fantastic. And of course, last episode, we taped Sam Lafferty up in Montana. Unfortunately, you couldn't make Montana because you were in Utah.
In Utah. I love how you say Utah.
That's the way I say Utah.
Like Johnny Utah. Yes. So yeah, my daughter Dylan, who's here tonight, she plays goalie for the Junior Bruins girls team. We were out, they're playing for the Roses series. And yeah, we had a great time. It was one of the best trips, like hockey-wise. We got to see so many great sights. Walked up 9,000 feet up into a lake. It was unbelievable. Just the team camaraderie. You want to win, but it's all about the friendships, relationships, the memories, and competing. And she competed her ass off and saved a lot of pucks. So
that's awesome. Definitely. Keep going around the clock. Now, I gotta ask, how was the? Because we know how it is out here, but how's the officiating out in Utah?
Oh my God, you want to get into it? All right. Yes. So all right. So like, I don't even want to go. I didn't know if they knew what offsides was, so I asked them politely, "Hey, are you gonna call just the lines?" I go, "That's all you gotta do. Just call the lines and the obvious fouls." And I kind of maybe said it a little aggressively, but yeah. And I was the fourth coach on the bench, so like I was the goalie coach, so I was on there for Dylan, and we had three coaches, so I was like that little annoying, trippy guy you hate on the bench. So like I noticed I was that guy. So at the end of the first period, the guy turned around and told me to shut up.
That's not good.
And I go, I just want to make sure you know what offsides is. And then he goes, just shut up, will you? So then every time I wanted to yell, I just paced the bench. So like the head coach was like, what are you doing? I go, I'm not getting thrown out, so I'm just going to pace the bench and I'll get back to my spot. I'm good. So like I didn't yell or say anything the rest of the game, but we didn't have 5 players on the ice the last 8 minutes of the game. It was pretty bad, yeah.
Short-handed?
Short-handed.
How does that happen?
I don't know. Poor officiating, I guess.
Maybe you shouldn't ask the question.
I told them to watch Chirping Zebras, and no, I'm kidding.
You should have.
I did.
Why didn't you?
Well, actually, honestly, I'm not kidding you. The game before that, there was a young kid out there and like an older guy, and they kept getting stuck on the sidewall, and they getting hit in the way. And I'm like, I introduced myself to the kid earlier, so he knew who I was. So like, going into the third period, I was like, I got to say something because he already got run over and he's going to get hurt. So I walked over there in the penalty box. I go, hey, can I give you a piece of advice real quick? And the older kid just like, nope, see you later. Then the kid actually stayed and like nodded. And I was like, okay. I go, listen, dude. I go, you know why you got run over? I go, you were flat back and you were stuck on the boards. I go, when you're back on the boards like that, you have nowhere to go. I go, play's coming at you. I go, where you got to go? I go, you just got to go up or down. And I go, that's what you did. You fell on the ice. I go, so what you want to do is you hit your ass off the boards, you get yourself out, and now you can move. You can go up and down, you can bump out, you have all the options. And the kid nodded. So the older kid already knew that, right? And so after the game, I walked up to him, I go, hey, pal. I go, I'm not being a dink. I go, I just trying to give you a piece of advice. I go, you got hit with the puck 4 times in a squirt game.
Right.
So he goes, I know.
Not good.
No, but he goes, I know. He goes, I've been working on it, I just didn't want to hear it. So then I was like, well, I go, do you want to learn how to, so I gave him that piece of advice, and he goes, honestly, I really appreciate that. He goes, a lot of people just tell you just to get out of the way. He goes, you actually had some input and, gave me something to work on. So thank you. So like, those guys were willing to learn. Those other guys were just out there to collect a paycheck. So it was unfortunate.
Well, I know, when I coached, it was very frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would get myself in trouble because I didn't pace. I just...
Yeah, you yelled, yeah.
So... not too many people.
And you had way bigger arms then too.
I did. Thanks for pointing that out. Now I look like shit.
So tell us about your trip. you went to Montana, Alaska. I mean, the whole kit and caboodle.
Well, Montana was great because the Face Off for Heroes event.
Yep.
Sam Lafferty was the only active NHL player there.
Okay.
They had 10 NHL players.
And who does he play for?
He just got traded from Buffalo to Chicago.
Okay.
So now we gotta, for Chicago a little bit because he's such a cool. I mean,
love Chicago.
The episode was awesome. He's great. And they had Navy SEALs from the Warrior for Life Fund, and they also had Army Rangers from Special Forces.
No pucks. Nobody took you out this time.
No. I made sure my buddy Chris Willie did not shoot the puck anywhere near me.
Very good.
Which was good. As a matter of fact, they had a funny picture we'll put up of him kneeling on the ice, and he's almost as tall as me, kneeling down. And that's the Navy SEAL that hit me. But it was an awesome event. There was 4 games on Friday, 3 round robins, and then they played the championship game. Kevin Miller, we went to his house. It was unbelievable.
How sick was that? Hanging out at Kevin Miller's house?
Just incredible. Just beautiful. He lives out in the middle of nowhere. But the best thing about the trip was the bus ride I took out to Kevin's house.
Okay.
So one of the guys had a conversion van, had like couches in it and stuff. So 6 of us get in to take the hour and 25-minute ride to Kevin Miller's. It's an Army Ranger. It's John Eccles, a former Navy SEAL, who'll be a guest on the show coming up. There was a trainer, and then an Army doctor, and then Josh Dolan, our producer, and myself. And that hour and 20 out and hour and 20 back were the best part of the trip.
I bet.
It was like a bus ride back in the day, or a car ride with the boys.
Right.
You hear Navy SEALs talk about stuff. The Army Ranger was complaining that they never invade places that have good alcohol or pretty women. They only go over to Afghanistan and places that have neither. So it was pretty funny to hear him say that. He wants to invade Cancun, but I don't know if he's trying to get some traction. But it was awesome. Just a great event, and Sam was great. If you haven't checked that episode out, the Evgeny Malkin episode, number 71. And then Alaska was just ridiculous. Travis Jackson.
Now, what a great host Travis Jackson is, and like the first thing you said to me was unreal. That kid rolls the red carpet out for you. Anytime anybody goes to Alaska, if anybody wants to go to Alaska, we'll hook you up.
He was episode 23.
Yep.
If we haven't watched, had the viral video of the goalie. He took me from all the way from Palmer to Homer, and that's how I said it, and they all laughed at me. But apparently it's Homer and Palmer, but and saw everything in between. Just the scenery is fake. It really is fake.
Oh, it's unreal.
It's not.
That's
real.
how Utah was. Like you just looking at the mountains, and it's like, what am I looking at? Yeah.
It's not real. I saw the Bears at Cagney. That was incredible.
Now you're wearing a T-shirt that says "Sack Tap a Moose."
It was my Sack Tap a Moose.
And it came out in that episode with Travis Jackson. He was like talking about the animals and stuff, and he goes, "Well, I'm coming up to Alaska, and I'm going to sack tap a moose." So did you?
You know what? I have some video to show.
All right.
That you can see proof that I did it. Proof. So let's roll the tape. So I'm about to sack tap a moose. He's right over there, about 20 yards away. So I got to be quiet. I'm going to sneak up on this guy, and I'm going to whack him. I'm downtown Anchorage right now, and there's actually a moose down here. And I think it's time I sack tap another one.
Very good.
Yeah, well, I never said when I said it that it was going to be live.
Well, I mean,
right? I didn't, and not for nothing. The only 2 I actually saw were way out in a marsh, and there were caribou too. There's no way I'm getting out there and living, to tell the tale.
No.
So had I seen one close enough, it would have happened. But they want, and of course I got to thank Stevie Glines.
Glines, he's the best.
and he's a future guest on the show. Worked with him back in the USHL and the Coast League.
He lived in New Hampshire here. He worked Hockey East. Yep, ECAC, the whole thing, right?
Fantastic.
Great human.
He did a great job promoting my show at Odd Man Rush Brewing, and they invited us back out. He wants you to come this time in January, so we can see it in the winter and skate the river. Because I want to skate a river. Like Mystery Alaska, that opening scene, best opening scene in any movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do that. So he said, you have to do that in the winter, obviously. So we're going to go back out in January.
Isn't it always winter up there?
You know what's funny? It was about 60, 65.
Did you see, was it always like light?
Oh, it was crazy. The sun came up at 4 in the morning and went down at midnight.
Yeah, crazy, right, yeah.
It was nuts. You come out of a show, it's 11:05 and the sun's not even setting yet. That was a cool part of it.
That is cool.
When we go in January, it'll be dark.
So when you go in January, so like when I used to go up to Alaska, like, you know, stay in the Sheraton, there was a Big Fridge right next door. So like I would sleep till noon, roll out of bed, you know, go eat some breakfast, and take a nap till, you know, 4:30. Jackson picks you up, do the game, drink all night, do the game again.
All that checks out.
Yeah.
That pretty much.
I might do a lap around that mall a couple times, but.
Yeah, they have one mall, which was interesting. Wasn't very much in there, but it's great place.
Yes, awesome.
Anyone gets a chance to go, and I can't say thank you enough to Travis Jackson, our boy Action Jackson, episode 23.
Man.
If you haven't watched it, and also Steve Glines.
Yes.
Incredible host. So, but yeah, so both of us had some nice trips. This is going to be a cool episode. We got a bunch of people coming on. We're going to do a little almost like a little round robin.
Right. So why are we here tonight?
Why are we here? Well, first of all, I believe CAGNEYS gave us this for free. They did, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to CAGNEYS.
They got some swag out of it.
But no, this afternoon we had the annual
golf event. Yep, Referees Crease
golf outing. Thanks to Gene again. We had 36 golfers. I think.
Yeah, how many golfers do we have? Yeah,
I think we had 36, give or take. And I mean, you know, there was a couple in my group that
they had bags of balls, but they had clubs. But I don't call them golfers.
I don't want to say any names, but he might be coming on later. Drano, but yeah, we had some balls that went into the witness protection plan.
Oh, I hit some back into Wayne from Braintree. Yeah,
holy smokes! I think one of them hit Tennessee Barbecue, but we were in Braintree, and if you're watching, you know what I'm talking about. Then screw it. But yeah, great day on the course. Yep. Tad warm.
A little bit,
about 95-ish. But great day, and always a great day.
And on the weekend here, we got the Chowder Cups, and we got the Beantown, and we got a couple other local tournaments that we're running. So we got a lot of referees in here from out of town. So, you know, thank you guys for traveling in and making the weekend work. So, right on.
Yep. I didn't get any games on my schedule.
Hang on. Mary? What did I tell you? I said, listen.
Why is he open?
No, I said, listen. I left a couple open because I always forget about somebody. So there you go. How about that?
Well, I probably
you want to work with Luke, and I went to go find Luke, and he wasn't open, and I didn't feel like texting you guys, so I just kept moving.
I'm only giving you a hard time. I'm fine if I don't work again. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it.
We're gonna get into our first guest here today, right?
Yep. So we have a special guest. We're gonna bring her up. We'll do the magic of editing.
Yep.
Because we can all of a sudden come back and guests will be here. It's pretty amazing. Okay. So we'll be back with our guests. So we are joined by two very special people. Your daughters, Gino.
Yes.
Dylan and Cameron. Welcome to the show.
Yes, Dylan and Cameron. Say hello.
Hi.
So ever since we started this podcast, Cameron, right? You've been asking to be on, and this is what?
Make it come true.
That's right. Your dream come true.
That's awesome.
So what's your favorite sport you like to do? Street hockey or track?
Ski hockey and cat.
Street hockey and track?
Nice.
Now, how many goals did you score on Dad this year in street hockey?
Guy time.
5 times. Yeah. And Dylan, did you help her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Practice,
yeah.
I love it. Now, Dylan, you're a goaltender.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So tell us a little bit about that. What made you become a goaltender? Because goaltenders tend to be a little different, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can talk loud.
Levi, I know who your dad is, so it makes sense, but you didn't want to be a defenseman taking penalties like your dad?
No.
No.
Well, when she skates out, she plays D too, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. What do you like playing? What do you like best playing goalie?
Getting shots in my head.
Yep, saving them. You like what did you say to me one time after practice when I shot it at your blocker?
I don't know.
I didn't shoot it. You could shoot it hard enough, huh?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And and you guys have favorite Bruins?
Yeah.
Yeah? Who's your favorite Bruin?
Well, no.
Swayman? Jeremy Swayman? From Alaska.
How about that?
Right? He's from Alaska. So, of course, your dad wanted to trade him for Connor McDavid.
Yeah. Ship him out of town.
I'm kidding.
No.
that
not
real
gonna
got some traction, by the way. People were a little angry at us. So
Cameron, what other sports? What do you like? You like track?
Yeah.
What's your favorite event in track?
Hop put and
Shot put
nice.
javelin.
and the javelin. You can throw it really far, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Throwing events. Those were I didn't like the running events personally.
Well, Dill is pretty good at what? What's your hot meet right now?
100.
The 100?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard both of you guys are stars at the track.
Yep. She likes this track. And speaking of tracks, we're going to have Becca Peasy on again. She just crushed the world record up where? Up in Alaska, kind of where you were, right?
North Pole.
North Pole,
She was at the North Pole with polar bears. She ran
running.
With polar bears.
Yeah, she crossed the
No wonder why she
track.
ran fast.
Yeah.
I would have done
Yeah.
too. She's. We've got to say congratulations to her.
Absolutely.
She's amazing. She's just amazing. And so are you guys.
And
You
guys
guys are amazing.
And guys, thank you so much for coming on. What do you think, Kim?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Cameron and Dylan.
All right. All right, I helped you. One second.
All right.
You get it, Cam. All right.
So joining us now, our first young referee who's really made a name for himself, especially this past year working the Frozen Four in Division III college hockey. Our good friend Chris Henry. Chris, welcome to the Chirping Zebras.
Good to be here.
Now, before we get into kind of your journey, tell us what it was like to work that Frozen Four.
Surreal. It was a good opportunity. You just try to get through the game, enjoy the moment, and, hope things don't go wrong.
That's a pretty good way of looking at it. Of course, my Curry Colonels were in that game, and you might have missed 2 trips, but that's okay. It led to the winning goal from Union.
You might have mentioned it.
Yeah, I'm not letting that go. No. So, you've worked with Gino and myself a lot. So you give us a little bit of the background of how you ended up in this area working for Referees Crews, working college hockey up here, working the Southern Pro League.
Yeah, so I'll give you the long story short here. So I played club hockey at the University of Central Florida. Once I was done, obviously playing club hockey. I wasn't going anywhere after that. I had the worst hands in the world. My coach suggested early on that, I should be...
Same with your golf game. Look at it.
Buddy, I think I won today.
You tripped the wrong guy. He can play.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point. That's the whole
I
point.
was behind you. You should know.
We try to get you. No, go ahead.
But anyways, wasn't going anywhere as a player. Wanted to stay involved in the game and started reffing hockey when, I was in Orlando. Really didn't know what to expect there. I thought I was going to do a little bit of men's league, if I was lucky, some junior club stuff. Got my first job out of college up in the Boston area, and I just wanted to continue reffing. And one of my connections from Orlando introduced me to your father. At the time, I had no idea who he was and what I was getting into, but I just wanted to continue skating.
That was for a reason, yeah.
Some people still don't.
Yeah. But I just remember walking in the first day working for your father at New England Sports Center. I skated a couple games, met some really cool people, and everything went fast. started working some good junior hockey, made it up to, Division III. I started working Hockey East on the lines, something that I never thought was possible when I first started refereeing. Then I started working Southern Pro League as a referee, then for you in Atlantic, and it's just been a great ride and enjoyed it ever since.
I mean, you say all this like pretty quickly, right? Like this didn't happen overnight. Like you put a lot of time and effort into your craft, and like I remember when you first came up, like you were like Bambi skating the 3-man system, right? I remember watching you Walpole. No, I'm dead serious, and I'm honest with people, right? And I think I told you what did I say. I go, you got to work in your skating and get into like get stronger skating, and what you do, go out and get power skating, and you worked on it. And not only that, like you took our advice too. Like you're constantly hounding us for Zooms, and you're constantly going over games so you can watch the, all that kind of stuff. So it's not like you just got there overnight just because you came up here from Florida. Like you actually put a lot of work and effort into getting to where you wanted to be. So
no, that's 100%. I mean, I've told a couple of people, you can't replace the reps. You've got to go through the reps. It's better to make your mistakes at 9 a.m. at, the Bach Ice Arena than in prime time when the cameras are rolling. Because, one, they're going to forget you pretty quickly. The other, not so much.
And I remember we had a conversation when, you first got into, Division I, and you said to me, you go, hey, Gino, I'm really glad your father told me to, do another year in the Southern Pro League, do another year working on your craft before you get into college hockey. And like, that kind of, it's weird to say, right? Pro hockey, college hockey, or, like getting into college hockey, right? But college hockey, that hockey's fast, and there's a certain standard of when you get in there, you should not be making any mistakes, right? And you told me, you were like, well, I'm glad I did that extra year before I actually jumped into the fire.
Well, it's rightfully so. If you think about where the coaches are, I mean, there's a lot on the line for them every single week. I mean, that's their full-time job. Yep. And, we owe it to them to put our best foot forward every single week. You have to have that experience, you have to see the reps, and you have to go through the ringer in order to be there.
No, and it's like, yeah, go ahead, Ross.
No, I want to ask about, because you actually attended the NHL Combine.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? Because and this is the new age NHL and how they find guys, and we've had plenty of opinions on it. But what was that experience like? Because not everyone gets to do that.
Yeah, I found out my lane very quickly. You have some guys in really good shape. I mean, you're skating against guys who, played in the American League. Some of them still play in the American League, and, you're doing your skating drills against them. You're doing your off-ice drills against them. You find out where you are really quickly. And, it was a humbling experience, and it just taught me where I need to go with my skating ability. Like, taught me what I needed to work on.
Right on.
So the skating and that, of course, the way you referee was probably leaps and bounds above those guys who could skate and look the part. And that's the whole problem with the way the NHL is doing things right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not shy about that. So
I mean, they need the reps. They need that's another podcast.
yeah, well, we mentioned it a lot. So what's up for next year for you? What are you looking forward to as far as leagues you're planning to work in, and how you're working to get ready for it?
I mean, part of that's not up to me, but I'm just hoping to enjoy every single bit of it. I enjoy working college hockey. I mean, there's nothing better than it. I mean, it's one of the best gigs in the world. I mean, not many people get to work, their normal 9-to-5 job during the week and then get to go and, ref a college hockey game later that night. I mean, it's great. It doesn't get any better than that.
Now, and we've had the opportunity to work a couple midget games, little people games.
We're not live on TikTok.
Yeah, that's true. So we can't get shut down. It's interesting. TikTok has a problem with that word. But we've gotten to work a couple games together. We had some fun.
And we got phone calls from, no.
You probably did with what I said to a couple of coaches. I don't think I've shared the story, but I don't know if you're willing to share the story.
Yeah.
But we had a pretty funny exchange with one coach.
Yeah, so what can I say on this?
You can say whatever you want. It's
Yeah.
All right, kids, cover your ears in here.
They stay at grandmother's house. So.
All right, fair
Don't worry
enough.
about
Fair
it.
enough. So, you know, there's a little bit of a difference between USA hockey and, you know, college hockey. And obviously, Mark and I, you know, work the latter quite a bit. And, you know, after a goal goes in NCAA, you don't blow the whistle. We're in that habit. It was a USA game, probably should have blown the whistle, but, you know, we didn't. And the coach pulled Mark and I aside and was like, I noticed you didn't blow the whistle after this last goal. And Mark goes, yeah, I don't think I did. He goes, well, do you mind blowing it? You know, can you do that? And Mark goes, you know, coach, I don't know if I'm too comfortable with taking blowing requests here.
Sorry. Not sorry. Yeah. I tell the story way better, but it's all right. That was good.
I'm not
That was good.
a comedian.
No, I know, clearly. So, but Chris, thanks a lot.
Thank you
good
very
luck
much.
in the future, and thanks for coming on with the Chirping Zebras.
Right on.
For sending us. Joining us now, one of our favorites in the business, Connor Foley. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Now, before we get into any refereeing stuff, two things. One, epic lip sweater.
Thank
All right, gotta let you know, epic lip sweater. Two, Gino, if you feel uncomfortable, it might be because you're sitting next to two Zavarian brother Hawks right here. Because Connor went to Zavarian, much like I did, and you went to BC High.
I'm all right. I'm good. We always beat Severian.
Yeah, well, all right.
Actually, I took one of the worst penalties I've ever had versus Severian. We're at Babson, and Hickey was playing for Severian. Big bulldozer. He like absolutely come by, smokes me right up against the boards. I'm peeling myself off the board, and he's coming by, and I'm on my knees, and I absolutely two-hand him. I'm a sophomore, by the way, right? I go in the box. Billy McCabe grabs me by the cage, and he goes, "You ever swing your stick like that again at anybody, you're off this team." And I was like, "Oh, just learned my lesson. So don't swing your sticks at anybody."
Yeah, all right.
That's my Severian story.
You know what's the funniest part of that story is you actually edited the fuck out of it. That's what
I did, yeah.
That never.
I don't know. My daughters are here, and I don't know.
Well,
But I do swear in front of them, so it doesn't really. I don't really. Yeah.
Well,
I don't.
What's funny is if you recall, we tried to do the first 5 minutes with no swears.
Hey, we passed. I
57
think.
seconds last episode, so that's all right.
And Cameron watches them all too. Yeah. Right,
So
Cam?
there you go. So Connor, your path to refereeing, how did that happen?
So I got cut from freshman hockey at Zavarian. We had 90 kids try out for the freshman team. So I was playing football and lacrosse, so I needed a job to go around those two sports. And hockey refereeing, it was pretty easy building that schedule around the practices and games and everything else I had in high school.
How many? So what age were you when you started working?
I started working junior year, so when I was 16.
Oh wow! All right, cool. Now you've worked everything from college to pro,
Yep.
And I bring this up because it's important in that you're a linesman,
Yep.
and you're a damn good linesman, one of the top, I think, in the referee.
He's all right,
circle. I know you can't pump his tires much because you want him to keep working hard, but
Well, yeah.
from personal experience working with you, I know you're one of those guys out there that when you're out there, I know I can trust you, and I know you're going to be where you're supposed to be. You're going to work hard and all that. Now, some people line and then referee. Some people referee. You're like my nephew, who's a linesman. You obviously take pride in that. Talk a little bit about that, because everyone thinks you get into refereeing, you want to referee, but the linesmen are as important, if not more important than.
Well, have you ever seen a referee?
Well, no, that's why I asked. No.
Yeah, so I started lining when I was still in high school. I'd get called out on different days when I was a senior and go ref or line a NCDC game. I've kind of always been a linesman. I don't really skate like a referee. Even when I'm skating like a referee, I'm skating like a linesman, especially in three-man. Always hanging out on a blue line. So wasn't really a good ref, and I've just kind of found my stride being a linesman. Don't really expect to ref ever until I retire and can't skate. So
Hey, well, you know what? And we've had, Derek Amell, 24 years in the NHL.
Yep.
Vaughn Rohde, 22 years in the NHL. Both of them never refereed, only line. So, I mean, it's something that for guys like yourself, and you approach it as if it's just like the craft of refereeing, which being a referee. And I think it's important to point out because without linesmen that are not trying to become a referee, you guys are pretty important because there's that's not to say anyone who's a lineman wants to be a referee or anything like that. I'm just saying I want to point it out because it's important. Now you have an interesting thing because you were up at UVM?
UMaine.
UMaine. It was 2 states over.
I almost got killed right in front of him with a puck.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on the ice crew. I'm in the corner, right?
Yeah, so when I was at UMaine, I was part of the on-ice crew during the men's games. And there's a couple times where I was standing behind the glass and he almost took a puck off the head.
Where was I standing, by the way?
Right in the corner.
In the corner, yeah.
Where Kerry Fraser, Don Kowarski, and Paul Stewart said you should be.
I mean, the puck missed me. The puck missed me. But I turned around. I turned around one time and made eye contact with him. I went, holy. He starts laughing. And then he came in. Did you have a beer with us?
I did.
Yeah, he came in and had a beer with us. Yeah.
Now, what you were pro, Southern Pro?
East Coast.
East Coast League. Okay. Tell me a little bit about that because that league is, that's a league where I was most of my pro career. What's your favorite place to work down there?
Probably favorite place is Maine, just because the guys off the ice, the equipment staff, the medical staff, they all will make sure that you guys are doing okay as refs. Every single period, there's someone checking on you. Fan-wise is probably Adirondack, just because they have the craziest fans of the 3 rinks I see.
I would second that. That place, I call it like the hills have eyes, like the crazy people up there. Like I got it. Like Dad, you saw it one time, right? I got a whole bucket of popcorn. That whole place. That was the story when I tell him, hey, was that the right call? And he goes, I don't know, but that was one boo. I haven't seen that in a long time.
That's probably the one place I've only been chirped by the off-ice guys is Adirondack. They're complete homers and will not let you forget that.
Still that huge locker room?
Yeah, the massive one with 3 seats on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like now they have like these big wheelie bags. Everybody has a big wheelie bag. Like you stick it, like you literally gotta unpack and stick your bag in the bathroom.
Yeah. One of the bags is getting soaked by the shower.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That sounds like a referee's room.
That's life of the miners, my friend.
Oh yeah, of course.
Let's go.
So East Coast League, college hockey, tell a little bit about how you got there. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't happen overnight, and you're someone that worked really hard.
So yeah, I started lining juniors in high school. I graduated high school in 2020, so the whole COVID, everything got shut down, went up to college, didn't skate for over a year, and then started to skate sparingly on breaks, and then wasn't liking my major after COVID. So I talked to Gene Sr. and was just like, I'm thinking about moving home. He's like, yeah, I'll put you full-time D3. Did over 30 games in 9 weeks at D3 my first year. Got 2 D1 games at the end of February that year, and then right into D1 Hockey East Coast, Atlantic that following year.
Love it. And from a linesman standpoint, obviously offside icing, face-offs, how important are they to execute the right way?
Probably the most important thing that we have to deal with because everyone's watching us for 3 seconds, hopefully. And if it takes longer than 3 seconds, no one in the building's happy with you. We'll hear it all night if we're not being quick, fast, and fair. It's just making sure that we get the puck down, especially at college. If we're taking too long, the coaches will just get on us the entire game.
Now you're a linesman. Now, rule book, right? I can't stand the lines that always say, oh, I'm just a linesman. I don't need to know the rules. Or I don't dive in. How well or confident you are in the rules? And I find you as a big rule guy, and I always like working with lines that were in the rule book because I'd always vet them, right? I would always ask them questions to see if they even knew the right answer because I'd be like, oh, this kid's with me or he has it, right? So I would always want to make sure I could trust my partner that night. So I'd always ask them a question or two to see if they're with it. So what type of things do you do with rule book or anything like that.
Yeah, and I didn't read the rule book very much, so I always needed my linesman to know it.
Well, yeah.
One of the big things that helps me with the rule book is junior hockey.
Okay.
I'm skating juniors pretty much Monday to Thursday, sometimes a Friday morning if I don't have a college game. One of the biggest things that those junior kids find out is linesmen can call penalties.
Very good.
And just knowing when I can use that, especially if the kid's just talking the entire game, not letting me do my job, and also helping the refs at juniors especially, because there's only 3 of us out there. If it's a newer guy, you're gonna have to help them sometimes.
Well, now, when you say help, like, what do you mean by helping? Like, are you going up, like, just telling them, or are you going up, like, how are you approaching the referee when they need help?
Most of the time on low face-offs, if I'm the high guy, I'll do a buzz by him and just, if he has something to say, he can say it then, or I'll just be like, hey, you did miss one here. Like, everyone in the building saw it, but there's only 3 of us out there. It's a learning ground. You're not going to see everything. And it's that type of thing where just trying to help the ref, because as a linesman in juniors, especially after doing some of the higher levels, I can take a step back, I can watch more. I'm not so focused on play where I'm only watching the puck. I can kind of step back and see what else is going on the ice.
Right, and that's an important point too, right? Like you just said, you work a lower level because the game slows down for you, and when it slows down for you, you can work on things you need to work on. So like always, like take that squirt or pee wee game, work on your skating, work on all those different things, to advance. Like I used to do it in the summertime, and even before the season, like you said, like I would work a junior game during the week or a D3 game before a Division I game on a Friday, Saturday night because you can't go in cold. So I was used to working 4 or 5 games a week, and so very good point.
You mentioned calling penalties as a linesman. You had one of the best penalties at your alma mater, Salve, Virginia, when you were lining with me down there in a game, and you absolutely teed the kid up.
Yeah, it was a playoff game a couple years ago. Salve was up big. They were giving the refs crap the entire time.
Not mine, not Salve.
No, they were up big.
They were trying to give us that.
Yeah, they had heat lamps as goal lights. It was comical.
Right.
They were hanging from budget cords. Yeah.
Literally, the heat lamps, like from it looked like
School
French
has no
fries.
money either.
Yeah, French fry lights. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. One of the captains wasn't really too happy with anything we were calling, even though they were up big the entire game, and he just kind of looked at me and kept talking, and I threatened to give him a misconduct, and he said, "You won't do it," and I said, "Watch me," and then just did it to him.
So great.
Well done.
It was so great. I believe his language was a little more colorful. And I believe I said, "Did you just?" And you said, "Absolutely." And I was like, "Good," because I was gonna fucking whack him. Connor, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much, Connor.
Good luck in next year. Keep doing what you do. You're a great linesman and a great friend. Connor,
Right on.
fully on. Joining us now, a very special guest, Ed Dussault. Gino, your father-in-law.
My father-in-law, yes.
Yeah, which we're so happy to have you. Welcome to the Chirping Zebras. I understand you're a big fan.
Yes, absolutely, Mark. Thank you. I've enjoyed a number of your shows. Chris Nyland was a howl, and talk about learning something. And of course, Terry Frazier, and then you had Todd.
Todd Angeli.
Angeli, yeah. And then I'm drawing a blank there. Koharski.
Koharski,
I
yeah.
enjoyed that. Yeah. So there's been a lot of great guests. I am not a referee, okay, but I have a little history, and I'm a lot older than all of you. So please bear with me. I'll give you the short version. I was in the sporting goods industry for close to 40 years, and my first job was with Wilson Sporting Goods in Buffalo, New York, in 1973. Okay, 23 years old. I'm having a blast. I'm up there, and lo and behold, I find out that Wilson has O.J. Simpson on their staff. And I think, wow, this is great. And I was fortunate. I got 2 tickets to the home field to see their games. And as I said to Matt, Buffalo's a great sports town. I know we're lucky. Buffalo, unfortunately, is not Boston. They don't have Boston success, but it is a great sports town, and it's a great town for people. And I loved it there. So now here's this junior salesman, and I'm calling on the Buffalo Bills. And they had a very good team back then. A little history. You had a guy by the name of Ferguson at quarterback. O.J. Simpson's the running back. You've got this guy, Joe DeLamalure, who was an awesome lineman. And this other guy, Reggie McKenzie, who was their version of John Hanna. Very good football team. So we go preseason. Wilson, he's on our staff, and we bring our helmets. And lo and behold, OJ has a very big head. Big hands, big feet, and he's got an afro. And wouldn't you know it, our helmet won't fit him. So we go, what the frig are we going to do now? So some idiot, I won't tell you who, says, well, look at Rydell. They've got all these extra sizes we don't have. Why don't we just take the Wilson bumper, put it on the Rydell helmet, and we'll put it on OJ? They looked at me and they said, well, I guess, hey, listen, we got to have him in the game and he's got to have Wilson. We'll let him do it. That genius, I'm telling you, talk about an a-hole. Let me tell you what happened. Doesn't OJ go in the third game and he gets popped? And he's playing the Steelers. And if you remember back in '74, what did we have, Mark?
Steel Kurt?
There you go.
Steel Kurt?
And they
I'm old enough to remember that, and they all beat the crap out of the Patriots every time.
They beat the crap out of everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, them and, what was it, Oakland used to play off for the championship.
Yeah.
So he gets popped, but there's an air cylinder in the Rydell helmet, and it crushes. Doesn't it absolutely split his head open? And now he's got to be taken off the field. But what's worse, I find out at 12 o'clock midnight, OJ has to have plastic surgery. And they said, this guy, Jimmy Fox, was head of the promotions and team development and all. He says, hey, a-hole, get yourself into that locker room and get that bumper off that helmet. We have got a major headache. I got it. What? Well, now, hauling my ass to Buffalo, 3 hours away from where I lived in Rochester. I go into the locker room, and I got to see the equipment manager. I said, I apologize. I got to get the Wilson bumper off the helmet. He says, what? I says, yeah, I've got to take the Wilson bumper off the helmet because it's a Rydell helmet. He said, what kind of a stupid bastard are you that would put that bumper on the helmet? I go, well, listen, at the time it sounded like a good idea and management went with it, so I did it. Well, you got a real problem, don't you? I said, you have no idea. So at any rate, we get the bumper off, the helmet. I had to do it with 3. I had to get 3 off because they obviously have backup. I go, I said, listen, I really apologize, Tony. I know this is a problem. He says, you know what? I need a new set of golf clubs. I said, you do? Oh, well, listen, I'm with Wilson. What can we do? At the time, it was Wilson's staff. There was no Ping. There was no TaylorMade or Callaway. There was just...
Wilson was the club.
Well,
Wilson
that was good, yeah. Wilson was good, Spalding, McGregor, Rawlings. Those were the companies. So I got to go out to Syracuse. It's actually Liverpool, to the office. I go to the office manager, John Roscoff, who was a wonderful guy. I said, I got a problem. I got to get a set of golf clubs, but they're pro clubs. He says, you're not authorized to have pro clubs. I said, I know, but here's the problem. I explained to him. He says, who was the stupid bastard that put the bumper on the helmet? I said, please, we got a problem. I got to get out of this. Can you give me some golf clubs? Yeah, thank you, Cam. You're right. You're pointing at the stupid bastard. Thank you. Now we know. Everybody knows. Thank you, Cam. So, make a long story short, I go, I get the golf clubs, I bring them in, hand them out, I'm saying, I'm sorry, da-da-da-da. So I'm hoping that this is all going to calm down and whatever. I have to go back now. I got to go back in and I've got to see OJ. And OJ was a nice guy back then, by the way, and he held out for $250,000 and they didn't want to pay it. It was crazy. Can you imagine? $250 today? At any rate, I see OJ. I'll never forget this. The only words OJ ever said to me was, first of all, he's looking at me, he does this. Where are my golf clubs? So I got to get him golf clubs. After I get them, I bring them to him. And the last words he said to me was, good luck to you. And that's a true story. And it was way back in '74.
Wow.
So that was it. Go ahead.
So you got extorted by OJ.
Oh, yeah.
Which, in the grand scheme of things, that ain't bad with OJ. You know what I mean? Could be a lot worse. You know what I mean?
I was just glad Mark Riley wasn't in the locker room when I was getting reamed by everybody. He did a field day.
I have a question about this because Wilson signs OJ. Did they not think to check his head? Like, how did Wilson? How did your bosses not know their helmet wouldn't fit OJ's head?
First of all, his head was big, but then he had the afro, and I think that's what threw it off. You know, it was just crazy. But back then, you know, things were a whole lot different. It was much simpler. Not now. You wouldn't pull that off today, I'll tell you.
Well, wow. I love the fact that this is a story about OJ, and we all know where that went. So maybe he should have.
Well, let's flip the script. You said you had a nice Bobby Orr story, correct?
Good. Bobby Orr
a little hockey
much
story.
better than
Yeah,
OJ.
way better, yeah.
We all love Bobby Orr in Boston. I mean, he's the greatest. And this was an example of just how magnanimous a guy he is. He came on, I left Wilson, I was now with Reebok. And we had an event up in Quebec City when they still had the Nordiques. So this is like 1997. So we go up to Quebec City and we're staying in the Hotel Frontenac. If you don't know what it is, it's a beautiful hotel. It's your Four Seasons, but it's got a lot more history to it. So we check in, and of course, he's Bobby Orr. He's in Canada. He's way up here. Mr. Hockey's here. Mr. Hockey's here. Well, the manager comes out and he says, Mr. Orr, I'm thrilled that you're here, and I want to thank you for coming to the hotel. He said, I have a question. My father was a hockey referee back when you played juniors for the Oshawa Generals. Would it be okay if he came to meet with you in the morning? And Bobby said, well, what time are we leaving? I said, well, we've got to leave here about 5:45, 6 o'clock. So Bobby goes to the manager and says, listen, if you can get your dad here, his dad lived like 3-4 hours away. He said, I'll be glad to meet with him. Well, sure enough, this dad, who was the referee, comes down, and in the morning I come down about 5, and there's Bobby sitting on a credenza, just sitting there real casual, enjoying it, talking to this guy. And they had a great conversation. The manager was thrilled. The guy was thrilled. We get in the limo to go to the airport, and Bobby's just sitting there, great guy, smile. He says, guess what I've got? I said, oh, what do you got? He said, I have a picture of when I was playing against Sil Apps. Sil Apps probably doesn't mean anything to any of you, but his father played for the Toronto Maple Leafs. His son, Sil Apps Jr., that's who Bobby was playing against. When Bobby played junior, he was so good at everything he did. He might have been a defenseman, but he always took defensive zone faceoffs because he was so good at it to control the puck. Yep. Here's this picture of Bobby Orr, Sil Apps Jr., getting ready for the faceoff, and the father is the referee dropping the puck. Wow. He said, I've got this picture. He's describing it. He says, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not only going to get it reprinted, but I am going to get it mounted, framed, the whole bit, autographed. And he said, I'm going to send it to him. I said, that is phenomenal. What a great gift. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking. I says, hey, Bobby, got a question. Do you think if you ever go to Quebec City, you'll have a problem getting a hotel room at the Hotel Frontenac? I don't think so. Wow. Isn't that a great story, though? That shows you what a great guy he was. It is.
Bobby Orr is just a 100% class act, and you know, if he happens to watch Chirping Zebras, we'd love to have him on.
Yeah,
you know,
how about
he's
that?
like a white whale, I would say.
Can you like tag him on all the social medias and just keep?
Oh yeah, we'll take care of that for sure. This will be a reel for sure.
Last thing, I found out later, Bobby will spend over $100,000 of his own money to just mail whatever memorabilia he can to his fans. He does that himself. He doesn't do $100,000 out of his own pocket.
Well, I mean, not only a great guy, but the greatest hockey player to ever live, in my personal opinion, and many others. You know, Gretzky is Gretzky, but overall hockey player, or could have played in any era. And if he had the equipment that we have now, and the technology, and the doctors and everything, he would have had a full career, and he would have broke every record there ever was. So that's why I think he's tops of all time ever.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Thank you, guys.
Well, Ed, this was awesome. Thank you.
End the show, everyone. All right, joining us now, Mark Duggan, referee in the Southern Pro League, referee in the Atlantic Hockey League. You line in the East Coast League down in Norfolk, and you have a kind of a cool story as far as how you met Gino.
Yeah, so born and raised Hampton Roads, as you've always talked about your
Spider.
Yep.
Right? They called it the Spider.
Yeah.
The arena was called the Spider because it looked like a giant fucking spider. It was stupid, but it was cool.
Yeah. So born and raised in Hampton Roads, I grew up in watching the Norfolk Admirals versus the Richmond Renegades versus the Roanoke Express, who equivocally now or some of us in the room will ref the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs, but I never truly crossed paths with Riley here. But when I got out of college, I joined the Norfolk Admirals front office. Then I moved over to the hockey operations, and when they became the affiliate for the Anaheim Ducks, I joined the equipment staff, and one of my jobs was to take care of the officials, and not necessarily knowing it, but myself and Junior.
He washed my laundry, yeah.
I made sure that Junior needed everything that he needed to have. But Junior and Tommy George and Pomo and Terry Koharski, those guys on Saturday night sets always left half a case of beer for us.
Honestly, yeah, that's a good point. I was going to say, like those guys, all the off-ice guys, treat them like gold, right? Because, especially you roll into a town, you don't know, the ins or outs. These guys will tell you what bars to go into, what bars not to go into, and stay safe at, or whatever. And anything you need, your skate lace break, your shirt, gets blood on it. You need new steel, right? Always take care of these guys because you never know, what they can do for you down the line when you're in a pinch.
And always remember their names, that's for sure.
Yes.
I don't think we ran into each other because I was refereeing down there before you were born. I think that's why we never.
I'm 35, so
35?
I'm a 90.
Oh, all right, 90. So you were.
John
you were
Brophy.
there. All right, John Brophy. Brophy was the
Oh boy.
best.
Yeah, I never crossed paths with him, but I heard all the horror stories.
So now you meet Gino as an equipment guy. How do you get into refereeing?
So when Norfolk made the regress back to the ECHL, the American League went out west. Anaheim bought the affiliate, moved out west. They said on the equipment staff for the ECHL, they didn't have enough money to pay me. I said, well, damn, what am I going to do to stay in hockey but also make money? So an official down in the Hampton Roads area, Virginia area, Derek Boehm, said, hey, I'm going to make you a name bar. Just jump in this junior showcase down there and see where it goes. So that was 2018, and met senior Mike Schubert, and they said, hey, you might not know anything because all you do is ref beer league, but you work hard, you're driven, and from that we can work with. And it took me, I came up that January to Marlboro, where the junior showcase was massive. Got to sit in the locker room with Ryan Sweeney, listen to supervisors like Junior and Riley here, Casey Terreri, listen to the veterans hold court in the locker room and see how they operate, work with them as well. And that was sort of just from there. And being somebody from Hampton Roads, Virginia, there's 3 rinks in a matter of a 50-mile radius and 1 junior team. So I knew if I'm going to progress in officiating, I had to go to the hockey. It's not coming to me. So it was every showcase possible. Jersey, Boston, New York, it didn't matter. If there was a showcase, a group of us would go from Virginia or North Carolina and just travel up, work Thursday to Monday, whatever it may be, and just you're setting us up at 10 p.m. at Marlboro on Saturday night and putting us on at 8 a.m.
And how much fun, honestly, how much fun, that is fun, but.
That's to keep you honest.
Yeah, it's to keep you out of the bars. But, no, yeah, you say that, how much fun is that? Not just you're working hard, but the group, like you come up in a group and, you know, you're traveling, you're bonding, like talk about all that experience.
Yep. So I know we have some higher end officials in here as well, but we also have some up and comers as well.
In our audience. Yeah.
For myself, the funnest time I ever had was the showcases. It's a higher level, but it's not up here where it no longer becomes fun. It's fun, but guess what? You're competing against him, and guess what? We're all buddies, but guess what? Everybody wants that last game of the season. And the showcases, guys from Detroit and out west would come in, guys from the south come up, and everybody would just get to hang out for 4 or 5 days and work together. And the pressure was very minimal, but we had an absolute grand time. And on top of that, you get to meet so many new officials. And even at the golf course today, I knew a lot of the officials, but got to meet a handful of guys that I've never met, or new guys into your system.
Right.
So that in reality, the message I want to ever send is enjoy the ride up, because everybody in this day and age, all they want to do is they want to get to here. Yep. Enjoy that ride up.
Yeah. Great advice. And so you had last year we did this, and we had Terry Koharski up.
Yep.
Our buddy Coho, and
Dutchie.
we did the golf, but the night before we went out to dinner, and it was Junior, it was myself.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was Coho, and it was you. And sitting at that table, what, 200 plus years of.
Yeah, a lot of miles in that
right?
table, yeah.
I mean, maybe even more, 225,
yeah.
221, 220, whatever it takes. And so what was that experience like? Because not everyone, I busted your balls about it last year, but not everyone got there. What was it like just sitting at that table hearing all those crazy stories that we were telling?
This isn't actually a thing. Like, it's not real. Obviously, there was an age that didn't have cameras and cell phones and security, whatever it may be. But something that I always knew coming in, it doesn't matter. I started when I was 26, but whether you're 21, 30, if you're new to the table.
I like that you pointed at me when you said 30, by the way. I appreciate that.
I don't know. You look fantastic for whatever you are. But long and short, it was, I knew, and I had just driven from Virginia Beach. It was 10 hours, and they said, hey, meet us at dinner. I was like, all right. Whether I'm, car lag from just staring at my windshield, but long and short was, I just sat back for the majority of the night and just listened to the stories and how they conducted themselves with coaches. And in reality, for me, I'm just soaking it in the sense of how, Riley does it one way, Junior does it another way. Terry's very old school and can do what Koharski's can do that others can't. And no, I can't.
There's a lot of he said, like, you can't describe that until you lived it.
Yeah, we all know that Bendis can do things one way and Koharski's can do things their way, and the rest of us, you can't do it that way. But no, it was
We get the phone calls.
Exactly. But I've been to Wayne, New Jersey, and sat at dinners with Senior and.
Don't let my wife know.
Sorry, Deb. Thank you for letting us stay at the house this week. But yeah, no, I just sit back and soak it in, what things have happened previously and how I can apply it now.
Now, I gotta ask you this question, because you're from Hampton. Kevin Kirst, does that name sound familiar? He was a linesman down there when I was down there refereeing. Love the guy, Kirsty. He put a wetsuit on underneath his, literally a wetsuit. Underneath his equipment.
I mean, you know the hammer.
Oh yeah.
You know the hammer.
Oh yeah, you know the Hammer.
He knows the hammer.
Mark Hamlet, our buddy Mark Hamlet, who has one nickname, Hammer or the Hammer.
Oh, the hammer.
Love that guy. He was my roommate. I don't even know how I survived that year, but yeah, we have to get Hammer.
Yeah, we got to get Hammer on.
Maybe he'll come up next year and play golf, and he'll hit a small bucket off every tee.
Yeah, he's golfing with you because he dips.
Yeah, no, he will. But Mark, good luck next season.
Yes,
Hope
thanks.
everything goes well. Thanks for coming on. Mark Duggan, everyone. All right, joining us now from Barstool Sports, our good friend Jerry Thornton, who was on episode 27 with us. Welcome, Jerry. And when you came on episode 27, we forgot to tell you not to wear a green shirt, and you sat in front of the green screen, and it turned out to be an interesting video.
So pretty much my head was floating in like in space. Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. And not like in the good way, like the hot weather girl on like Telemundo or something. No. Okay. Just a floating disembodied head. Okay, well, I think I actually look better than as a disembodied head. Actually, if you don't see my head, I think that's perfect. If I could just be invisible, that would be my best look.
There's a reason why you write for a living, right?
Yeah.
Or go on the radio.
Exactly. Perfect face for it.
Now, we golfed together today. You and I rode the car together. Some good shots, some bad shots, but a great time.
Yeah, so we golfed at Braintree today in weather conditions that I can only describe as the hot box from Cool Hand Luke. Like we came out, like Strother Martin was just going, what we got here is a failure to communicate, and also you can't hit a putt to save your life, you piece of crap from Weymouth. So.
Yeah, it was a rough day. Lately, what's been in the news, and this will drop, in the future, but right now, Bill Belichick and his girlfriend. Your thoughts on that? Because I know you're a Bill Belichick guy, you're a Patriots guy. But what's your thoughts on this whole unfolding of the relationship that we're seeing?
All right, fellas, let me preface anything I say by saying I have a card in my wallet that says organ donor, but only if Bill Belichick needs one of my organs. Like, seriously, you can just carve a kidney out of me right now if he needs it. And I also think there's a bit of, remember in Braveheart where the king enacted what he called prima nocte, which means first night, which when a bride is getting married, the feudal lord gets to like sleep with her first on that night. I think Bill Belichick deserves at least that much from all of us. So having said that, look, I'm a romantic, clearly. Like I'm in love with love, and these two crazy kids, their love story is just magnificent to me. Like it's so beautiful in a way. Like I just picture them together doing, and I'll clean this up, there are kids here, but having those intimate moments that loving couples do. They're physical expressions of love, and because he's Bill Belichick, he can look at her afterwards and say, "Was some things you did well. Some things you didn't do well. You're gonna have to work at it, get better in all three phases. I'm not really gonna know until I've looked at the film." And that is truly a beautiful thing. And some people think, oh, I don't know, maybe they're not right for each other. Like, I disagree. How did he say that they met? They were on a plane. She was reading a book called Deductive Logic, this book about philosophy, and they shared that common love of philosophy, logic, and special teams, I guess. I don't know.
They had a discussion about punters, right? Is that the
story? Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure they both love a good long snapper, and you take that to mean whatever you want.
I think if we believe that story, we believe OJ didn't do it because we talked about him earlier. But yeah, however they met, Ty Law, greatest take on it. Ty Law was the best take.
I just picture the two of them sitting around and him telling her old-timey football stories from like, I don't know, Vince Wilfork. I don't know, like what is her frame of reference? And anybody here from Bridgewater State or just me? Just there we go. All right, I get it. A lot of us don't like to admit it because it's like lording it over people. Like your Ivy League people are going, I couldn't get in to Bridgewater. I had to. It was locked. she just spit water. Thank you very much. She spit water. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I had to get into my safety school, Cornell. But she went to Bridgewater State, and clearly she's the most accomplished grad that we've ever had. Like, again, a champion in her own right, a champion cheerleader. These two kids are going to make it, I'm telling you right now. Did you see the video of her, like, looking at there was a loon on the lake or something, and she said, "I'm loony for you." Like, that's their love language, kids. I think it's beautiful. And if she doesn't,
logical?
yeah, exactly. If she doesn't do it right, he makes her run a lap. I don't know.
Run the hill.
Yeah, run the hill, Dante's Peak. Yeah.
Well, Jerry, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for coming on.
I appreciate you.
We're going to have some stand-up from you later.
Thank
but
you.
I want to thank Barstool's Jerry Thornton for joining us. Again, episode 27, watch it.
Check it out.
Joining us now, comedian PJ Thibodeau, one of our best friends, episode 67, if you haven't watched it. He was on, it was absolutely phenomenal. Longtime basketball coach, and I want to bring up right away, we produced a reel from that episode 67 about me telling a story about a hockey player whose mom came at me, and you told a story about a girl on your team telling you to fuck off, and you benched her for the whole season. It garnered a lot of comments online. That reel got, almost 100,000 views. And a lot of people had some interesting take on that, but I think you stand by your guns on that.
100%. You can't compromise your position as a coach. You have to have certain standards, and I think you all see this as refs. Kids are not being challenged the way that they used to be challenged. They're not held accountable the way that they used to be held accountable. I had the crap kicked out of me by upperclassmen, put in the hospital. And my dad asked me, what did I do? What did I say? Never sued the school, never did anything. Just told me to go back to practice and work harder. That's a true story, unfortunately. This day and age, you look sideways at a kid, and the parents want to get you fired. They want to yell at the refs. They want to cause problems. So that kid, I just told her to make a backdoor cut on a certain play that we're running, and she kind of gave me an attitude. She's like, "I know," and I was like, "Well, then do it." And then she was like, "F off," and I was like, let it go, and called her into practice the next day and told her she wasn't going to play the rest of the season. A couple of her teammates kind of stood up for her and said that she deserved to play, and I said, I disagree, she's not playing. They said, well, we don't want to play either, and I'm like, that's great, we got a big bench. So I completely stand by it, and I think that's a big problem in sports. We also talked about the NIL and the transfer portal. There's no loyalty, there's no path for these kids to fight through adversity, and that to me is the biggest reason you play a sport, to learn how to fight through adversity. So 100% I stand by that. Well,
I stand by it too, and it's interesting because we have a lot of young referees in the system, guys that are kind of the age of the players that you're dealing with. And one thing that we preach is that accountability has got to be there. You got to put the work in. You can't just show up and referee D1 college hockey. And if you mess up, you got to own it. And that's something that we talk about here too. It's very simple.
Accountability is huge. You need accountability. A couple guys in this room lost assignments this year. I've lost assignments because of it, right? You got to know your rule book. You got to be held accountable, right? So if you don't do that, everything just going to be, whatever. It's not going to be.
I can double down on these stories. I got fired from a public high school because the girl I gave Player of the Year to, the next year she came back, she wasn't working that hard. She wasn't as engaged. It was the COVID year. She wasn't focused. I also had another girl that did not respond to text messages, wasn't getting back to stuff, so I kept her out of the text thread. She wound up quitting the team. Her parents, best friends with the principal. The other kid that I was talking about, best friends with the superintendent. So those two players, right? My player there, who I gave player of the year over my daughter. My daughter was senior captain that year, all right, was the second best player. I told my daughter's fine with that to this day. Told them that they needed to work harder. They didn't, and the parents created this big thing, went to the principal and the superintendent, and I got fired for telling them the truth. And that's the big problem with what's happening in youth sports today. My story is not a unique one. It's happening everywhere. And Mark and I have joked a lot. Gino and I eventually will joke a lot. but about referees. We see it in basketball, the flack that you take as referees. Parents are trained to complain, right? They pay all this money, they spend all this time in these gyms and these rinks, and so they just think they're customers and they have a right, because they paid all this money, to yell at you as an individual, as a person, as a human, right? Meanwhile, you're trying to push kids outside of their comfort zone, right? So they can become something that they don't know that they can become, right? You as referees, you're trying to call an honest game to try to teach them. You are coaches out there on the ice, right? It happens all the time. And these parents, if their kid gets uncomfortable, they decide that, you're the problem. So they talk in the stands, they talk in the rink, they create this fake narrative, and by the time you're faced with this narrative, you can't defend yourself. So, you know what? Bench them. Stick to your guns. Hold true to your values.
Great.
Great advice. Coming from an accomplished coach. You won the knapsack championship with Rocky Hill.
Yep.
I got it right. And that's a school that never even sniffed that before.
Never even
so
made the playoffs.
Very accomplished coach, and you've put many kids into college, playing college. So advice like that coming from you, really means something for sure.
Yeah, I got to look these kids in the eye later on in life, and even the kids that have an issue with me while they're playing for me, I understand, But I tell them that it's like my own two kids, You got to tell them, listen, this doesn't work for you right now. I know you're upset, but this is how it has to be. You need to work harder. You need to do this, because they don't hear the truth anywhere else. So, more power to all of you in this room that are trying to ref and teach them the right things. They have to hear the truth. So,
And like reffing, you're never gonna ref a perfect hockey game, and like we're always gonna miss a call, and you're gonna, you might mess up something, right? But you want to strive for perfection, and that's what we try to do in officiating. And you also have to be coachable and take criticism, right? It's, you can't just,
I 100% agree. So my daughter came to a Memorial Day party with some of my old college teammates. I played basketball in college, and a couple of people went up to her and said, your dad was the dirtiest player in collegiate history. I used to be a goon. I wore that fucking badge proudly. I was a goon. Now it means jerking off. I didn't know that. You say you're gooning, it means jerking off. Sorry, kids, but it's just your kids.
Yeah, it's just my kids.
Yeah, it's just your kids. So you can afford therapy. Yeah. It's fine. Yeah, you push and you fight, and you try to just yeah. I just saw grandma. They didn't hear it anyway, so.
They understand.
they watch you.
So for the younger refs, the moral of the story is don't have your parents call Gene or Gino and complain about your assignments or how you got talked to in the referee's room or how you were supervised or if your feelings got hurt. Don't do that, all right? Don't do that. Suck it up.
Well done.
All right. Oh, you have.
Before we go, he's supposed to be on the Sack Tap a Moose tour, right? And then we did the pause, and you're gonna show him sack tapping a fake moose.
That's all I got.
It's already been
That's
shown.
all I
It's
got.
already been shown in this episode, so he didn't do that, right? What he did do is he sent all of his boys a video of two bears having sex 15 feet away from him. Two bears, 15 feet.
Can't confirm.
Right? So if you want to know something about your boy Mark Riley, he see two bears having sex in the woods, and this guy thinks, you know what, I should get my camera out. I should stand dangerously close to two bears having sex and videotape this and then send this to my friends, because this is exactly what they're looking for at 9 p.m. on a Monday.
First of all, there's a time difference from Alaska. That's why it was 9 p.m. Second of all, any one of you would have pulled out your camera for that.
No, we wouldn't.
Yeah, you would have.
No chance.
I'm running.
There's two bears having sex. I'm running.
Well, I was intrigued. I was intrigued. Well, maybe, you know what? We'll play it on the outro.
No.
Yes.
We'll play the Bears on the outro.
Yes.
And
You can't get midgets on YouTube. You think you're gonna get two bears having sex on YouTube?
you know,
We'll find out.
I told the kid that was there next to me, he was pushing him to the hospital. He was hurt. But, you know, that's all. So, PJ, thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you, brother. PJ Thibodeau, everyone. And we'll be right back to wrap it up. That's going to do it for episode 72, live from CAGNEYS here in Quincy.
Yes, thank you.
Live audience. I want to thank everyone that came on.
Yes, thank you very much.
A unique,
Yeah.
I think a unique episode, and I think it was great.
Yeah, we'll see how it does.
Yeah.
Maybe more than 100 views on YouTube. I don't know. We'll
Well,
see.
you know what? The RA episode's up near 3,000.
All right.
So that's all,
There
you
you go.
know, so
In
that's
there.
a good thing.
Like and subscribe, everybody. Take out
Like
your
and
phones.
subscribe on YouTube.
Hey guys.
Yeah,
Follow
like and
us on the
subscribe.
social medias, the Instagram, the Facebook, and of course,
The TikTok.
thank you. And want to thank AOA Studios, Mike, for coming down and
Yes.
taping and doing all the awesome work that they do behind the scenes and also in the editing booth. And also want to thank the Referees Crease for sponsoring not only Chirping Zebras, but also sponsoring the golf event today and this
Yep.
awesome live
Thank you.
taping right here. So we don't make it the longest ending like we usually
Yeah,
do.
we usually.
I think we'll just say thanks for watching and enjoy these bears fucking in the woods. Category on Pornhub. Just a couple of bears doing it. It's kind of cool. Having more fun in this trip than me.